Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that even though we live in the most connected age in human history, people have never felt more isolated. We carry devices that can reach anyone in seconds, yet deep conversations are disappearing. We scroll endlessly through updates, memes, and headlines, but still feel empty when the screen turns off. Have you noticed how friendships seem more fragile, families more distant, and communities more divided, even while technology claims to bring us closer? This is the great paradox of our time. We are drowning in connections but starving for real human closeness. And today, we are going to explore why loneliness has become the silent epidemic of modern society, and what we can do to reclaim the depth and meaning that our lives desperately need. We live in a time where technology promises us closeness, yet what it often delivers is only an illusion. A like on a post, a short reply in a chat, or a comment under a picture feels like interaction, but it rarely touches the depth of real human connection. We know hundreds, sometimes thousands of people online, but when pain strikes or silence falls, very few remain by our side. Ancient communities thrived on presence, on conversations that stretched for hours, on the comfort of simply being together. Today, these are replaced by quick notifications and fleeting exchanges that vanish as fast as they appear. The result is a society where people feel surrounded, yet profoundly alone. The very tools created to bring humanity closer are often the same ones pushing us apart. Think about the smartphone in your hand. It gives you instant access to voices across the world, but it also distracts you from the person sitting next to you. Martin Heidegger, the German philosopher, once warned that technology is not neutral, it shapes the way we live and even how we think. In chasing efficiency and speed, we have allowed machines to dictate the rhythm of our lives. We are connected to everyone, yet truly present with no one. And in this paradox, loneliness silently grows, hiding beneath the surface of our hyper-connected world. Human beings are wired for belonging, yet modern life feeds us with substitutes that trick the mind but starve the soul. Every notification, like, or view gives a brief rush of dopamine, creating the illusion of connection. But once that moment fades, we are left emptier than before. Psychologists warn that this cycle not only fuels loneliness but also weakens our ability to think clearly and deeply. When relationships are reduced to numbers on a screen, we lose the patience to listen, to understand, and to grow with others. In chasing shallow comfort, we unknowingly build walls around ourselves, making true intimacy harder to find. Our culture celebrates noise more than silence, performance more than reflection. Entertainment glorifies distraction, and education often reduces wisdom to test scores and memorization. Compare this to the past, the symposiums of ancient Greece, where ideas were debated for days, or the teachings of sages, who guided societies with depth and patience. Today, such depth feels almost alien. Carl Jung once said that true growth comes from confronting our shadows and contradictions, but our culture trains us to avoid discomfort at all costs. By choosing simplicity over complexity and comfort over truth, society drifts further into emptiness, and loneliness becomes the silent tax we all pay. Loneliness is not only a personal struggle, it is also a tool of control. A divided and isolated society is easier to manage than one that is united and thoughtful. When people feel alone, they are more likely to seek comfort in consumption, in trends, in distractions carefully designed to keep them passive. Corporations benefit when our emptiness drives us to buy more, scroll more, and want more. Political leaders, too, gain when citizens are too distracted or disconnected to question authority. Just as ancient rulers offered bread and circuses to keep the masses quiet, today's world floods us with endless entertainment to keep us docile. And in this cycle, loneliness is not simply a byproduct of modern life, it becomes a strategy of power. When genuine connection fades, the impact reaches far beyond the individual. Families weaken, friendships grow fragile, and societies become divided into hostile tribes. Instead of dialogue, we see shouting matches. Instead of collective wisdom, we see echo chambers where people only hear voices that confirm their own beliefs. Democracy itself suffers when citizens no longer meet in genuine conversation, when they are more invested in the lives of celebrities than in the future of their communities. As Stephen Hawking once warned, the illusion of knowledge is more dangerous than ignorance. In the same way, the illusion of connection, endless followers, endless updates, can be more destructive than being truly alone. If loneliness is spreading through shallow habits and empty distractions, then healing can only come through depth and intention. We can choose to slow down, to read with focus instead of skimming, to listen with attention instead of reacting instantly, to speak with meaning instead of chasing noise. Silence, once feared, can become our greatest ally, because in silence we rediscover ourselves. The Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard warned that busyness and noise prevent us from knowing who we truly are. In today's world, reclaiming moments of quiet reflection is nothing less than an act of resistance against a culture that thrives on our disconnection. Human beings do not grow in isolation, we grow in dialogue. But not the kind of dialogue we often see online, full of anger, sarcasm, and quick judgments. True dialogue is built on humility, patience, and the willingness to be transformed by what we hear. Socrates built his entire philosophy not by giving answers, but by asking questions that forced others to think. Imagine what would happen if we returned to that spirit, if instead of arguing to win, we listened to understand. Philosopher Martin Buber called this the I-thou relationship, encountering another person not as an object to be used or defeated, but as a soul to be known. Such conversations have the power to rebuild communities, to restore wisdom, and to heal the loneliness that shadows our time. There is a difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is imposed from outside, but solitude is chosen from within. Great thinkers, poets, and leaders throughout history have often stepped away from the crowd, not because they hated people, but because they needed clarity. In solitude, we hear the voice of our conscience without interruption, we confront the fears we usually bury under distractions, and we discover creativity that noise often suffocates. As Nietzsche once said, the greatest events, they are not our loudest but our stillest hours. Choosing solitude does not mean rejecting the world, it means preparing ourselves to re-enter it with greater wisdom and strength. The cure for loneliness is not more followers, more views, or more noise, it is authentic human connection. Sitting with a friend without phones on the table. Sharing stories with family without rushing. Engaging in conversations where listening matters more than replying. These small, deliberate acts may seem simple, but they carry the power to restore depth in a shallow age. Just as a single candle pushes back darkness, one genuine relationship can remind us what it means to belong. The world does not need more noise, it needs more truth, more presence, and more love. And in choosing this path, we do more than heal ourselves, we begin to heal the very fabric of society. We live in an age that celebrates noise, speed, and appearances, yet what the human soul truly longs for is silence, depth, and authenticity. Loneliness is not just a private emotion, it is the shadow of a culture that has forgotten how to slow down, how to listen, and how to connect with honesty. But within this crisis lies an opportunity. By embracing solitude, we reclaim our inner strength. By seeking dialogue, we rediscover wisdom. And by choosing presence over distraction, we rebuild the bonds that make life meaningful. The truth is simple, we are not meant to live as isolated fragments in a world of noise. We are meant to live as whole human beings, rooted in silence, nourished by wisdom, and connected through love. The question is, will we continue to chase illusions, or will we have the courage to return to what is real?